Now, despite popular belief, despite what many of what my YouTube comments have said, over the past year, or however long I've been making like daily YouTube videos, and ever since I started getting like a decent amount of views on some of my videos and decent amount of comments on them, I am not Hasan. I am not Hasan, and I'm also not related to Hasan in any way possible. But today, we are going to be talking about the man, because I definitely think that this subject is worth talking about. I saw this on my Twitter, like I think it was yesterday or the day before, and I kind of like breezed past a little bit. But as I went to go like start editing my video for today, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make another one, because I definitely feel like this is a good topic to talk about, and I kind of have a lot to say about like what these comments that Hasan has made and about him as a person in general. So if you don't know, Hasan went on his own public Discord recently, and he made these comments right here. So I'm going to put them up on the screen, and it was pretty much him almost like complaining. Right, but like I would say that it is him complaining about how his streams have been lacking in viewership recently. And like at first, I'm not a massive Hasan viewer. At one point, I was a little bit of a fan of Hasan. I'd say there was like a couple months there, like when I first like got hold of his content, I was like, this guy's alright. And then like, I watched him a little bit more, and I was just like, he's alright. Like he's nothing like all that. I mean, I don't like have anything against the guy all that much as I mean, a lot of people fucking do, which is going to come up a lot in this video. But like, I don't think he's terrible, but I don't think he's like the best streamer ever at the same time. But he has always been like at the top echelon of viewership on Twitch. But as you can see, I went on Twitch Tracker to have a look at his viewership, and obviously, it's still relatively in the upper echelon of viewership. But as you can see, is that, his views have been slightly declining since 2022, and they have just started to dip under the average of 20,000. And obviously, to a lot of people, that's still a lot of viewers. I mean, to me, that would be a lot of viewers who's an extremely small content creator. I mean, my videos here and there get some decent amount of views, but whenever I do live streams, I mean, I'm pretty sure my live streams only have ever hit like the max of like 8 viewers. So 20,000 is still a lot. But, to someone like Hasan, having under an average of 20,000 views, especially when at one point, as you can see by like, the graph here, is that he was averaging close to 40,000, like anywhere between 30 to 40,000 viewers every single month. And not just that, but also recently, he's been actually losing followers. So if you look at this one here, this is his channel performance over time, and this is just for his followers gains. And if you look right here, in where it's late 2023 and early 2024, you can't see any of like the rectangles for this graph because it's actually negative, where he has actually been losing followers. I saw in the month of March is that he lost almost 4,000 followers, which, I mean, isn't that many when you have like a size of Hasan, but that's like a net loss, where yeah, he would have gained followers, but he also lost a lot of followers. And at the end of the month, he had a net negative of followers, which, I mean, isn't really good, because it is going to eventually at one point start to reflect on your viewership. Because some people necessarily don't unfollow you, they just stop watching you altogether. Now, obviously, you guys have already gotten in your mind of saying like, good, thank God he's losing viewership. Oh my God, I hate this fucking guy. Because let's be honest, I would have to say that when it comes to some of the most hated people on the internet, in terms of like internet influencers, content creators, streamers, YouTubers, all that stuff, I would have to say, if you had to put like a top 10 of the most hated content creators, I would say that HasanAbi is somewhere in that top 10. And as much as I said that I don't really have anything like against this guy, and I definitely see that there are so many content creators, and I've made many videos on other content creators on the internet that are a lot worse of a person and a content creator than Hasan can ever be. Like someone like Neon, Jack Doherty, and that fucking Johnny Somali guy. Like, those are already 3 people who are 10 times fucking worse than Hasan could ever be. But at the same time, I can understand why he's losing viewership, and I'm going to go over that a bit right now. I'm going to kind of like break this down into every section of why I think that he's kind of losing viewership. And like, even though I am not a high viewed channel myself, as a viewer, maybe I can like kind of give, I mean, it's probably, this video's not going to get back to him, but I'm just going to give my sense of thoughts of what he could do to like, you know, kind of flip this on its head. Now, point one that I think that reasons why he is losing viewership is because he complains a lot. He does. He does complain quite a lot. As you can see in this, as these images that I showed of him like complaining on his Discord about how his viewership is dropping in his community. Like he said that his community was, you know, once a community, but now it's not. Is even if you're like not necessarily complaining all that much and you're kind of going like, oh man, this sucks. It was the exact same thing when a few months ago, Hasan was talking about how streaming can be hard and that clip was kind of taken out of context. And even in my video, I said like, hey, you know, this clip was taken a little bit out of context, but at the same time, no one wants to hear you complain, especially when you're in the position of someone like him who has a lot of fucking success, a lot more higher viewership than anyone could ever imagine to have. Even though you have lost a little bit of viewership, you still are in the upper echelon, the 1% of people on Twitch. As a content creator, in terms of wealth and in terms of success and in terms of viewership, you are still in that upper echelon. And when you are like that, no one wants to hear you complain. I myself don't even complain. When I'm on stream, when I make videos, I refrain from complaining ever to my community because I would know no one wants to hear that shit. No one ever wants to fucking hear that shit. I also think it's a bit of his ego as well. Hasan has had a extremely big fucking ego in the past. And I think that these messages kind of show as well is where he kind of expects to have this massive viewership. And even though he's kind of said that his videos have been banging recently, I mean, if you go look at his views, which I'll acknowledge in a second, about like the type of videos and the type of streams that he does, is that's not, you know, always necessarily true. Just because you think something is good doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, your viewers think that it's good. So you have to lower your ego and realize that maybe your content isn't as good as you actually think it is. I also think as well, another point is that he can be quite hypocritical at times. I mean, one of the biggest fucking jokes that I've ever seen Hasan do is when he took a photo of himself wearing this fucking t-shirt where it said, "Make the rich pay." Motherfucker, you are the rich. You're not this low class, even middle class person. You are a high class. You are a rich and successful individual. You can't relate to other people. Stop trying to do shit like this. Make the rich pay. You are the rich. And this shit was made a meme. Like, this literally became a meme because he was wearing this t-shirt. And now onto his content itself. The reasons why I think that his viewership might be declining. His streams are absurdly long. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with sometimes having long streams. You see HasanAbi do long streams, and his streams are successful, but the reason for success is completely different to him and Hasan. Now, Hasan does these extremely long streams, and I think that for him, that hinders him because of the type of content that he does. Now, HasanAbi, when he does long streams, he plans his stream out extremely strategically. To me, HasanAbi is one of the greatest content creators and greatest entertainers ever on the internet. If you watch, like, remember when HasanAbi did that 24-hour stream? Every hour, something else was going on that was completely fucking different and blew your goddamn mind. He has a supposedly 50-hour stream of him playing Red Dead coming up soon. You know that something out of random is going to fucking happen in the stream that's making you gonna go, what the fuck? Where Hasan will stream for like anywhere between 8 to 10 hours, and all he does for all those hours is reactionary content. That's it. And at some point, when you're reacting for that long, you kind of just sit in front of the camera and you don't say anything for long periods of time. And those videos that he does where he's just kind of supposedly reacting, but he's more just sitting in front of the camera, gets re-uploaded onto his YouTube channel, and then people are just like, if his videos are this dull, why the fuck would I want to go ahead and like watch his streams? Because he's reacting for so long that he doesn't bother to pause the video to even put his points in the video. Sometimes he sits there, lets a video run, and just eats food and does not say anything the whole entire time. Now, what I could think that Hasan could do to improve his streams and himself as a person from a viewer's perspective is be more humble. I know that can be hard because I myself, even for a long period of time, struggled to be humble to myself. Like, you know, when I used to play sports when I was younger, I had a massive ego for that. But I had to be humble. And I had to say, hey, I'm not as good as I used to be when I was younger. And I have to accept that. That's what you have to accept with this. You have to be more humble. Also, when it comes to his streams themselves, he should shorten his streams to like 3 hours, 4 hours at max. Maybe even 5 or 6. Just shorten your streams so much. And don't just do the same thing for all those hours. All you do is reactionary content. You know, you're supposed to be this political person that's meant to give these like great different points. Why don't you bring more people onto your streams? Do these great debates. Or, I don't know, maybe play some games instead of just doing reactionary content. Set your streams into sections. I've said it multiple times. I've talked about this guy like every fucking video because I watch this guy all the time is Asmongold. Asmongold's stream, when he goes in, he knows exactly what the fuck he's doing. He starts off his streams, 1 to 2 hours, he'll do reactionary content where he reacts to things first on his Reddit, then he reacts to things that he finds interesting on his YouTube channel that he's put into his watch later, and he also gives his points while he's watching these videos. Then after that, he'll move on to playing some video games, whether it's something new or something that he's wanted to play. He structures his streams extremely well instead of just going into things and just thinking like, fuck it, people will watch this shit anyways. No, you can't be doing that anymore. It might have worked in the past, but it's obviously not fucking working anymore. And if you're just going to keep complaining about how things aren't working, well, most likely your viewership is just going to keep going down, no matter how long you stream for. But I'd like to hear what you guys think about this down below. Yeah, let me know your opinions about, like, Hasan as a person, his streams in general, and, like, do you think that this is actually a decline of him? I mean, he kind of has been on Twitch for a long period of time, and there is, like, a new age of streamers that is kind of coming through, and he might be, you know, left in the dirt a little bit at this point in time. But yeah, that's it from me. Peace out.